So this is the entire workflow of nbgrader. So if we use nbgrader, we need to create an instructor version that will auto-generate a student version. And then that assignments we need to release and collect through the email as we are using standalone. And then auto-grade a submission and manually grade a submission if it is required. And then generate a feedback where exactly they got things wrong. So this is the standalone which we are using, and this is a local running notebook. In this local running notebook, once we install nbgrader, this form grader extension will create automatically. So once we create a form grader, this is the interface of form grader. Here we can see add new assignments. So if we click on new assignment, we can generate a multiple assignment. I just created 2 assignments for the different scenarios. So once we click on the assignment, we can find all the notebooks within the assignment. So this is the problem number 5. It has some special metadata. So once we create on view, we can find this cell toolbar and then create assignment. Once we click on create assignment, we can find the multiple cell. There is a drop down, manually graded answer, manually graded task, auto graded answer, auto graded task, and read only. So if we choose auto graded answer, in this basically a student will write their code, and our reference solution or instructor solution of the assignment we can write over here, like this begin solution and end solution. Between these two we can write it. So once we create the student version, it is removing the automatically. This complete thing will remove automatically, and a student can only find compute the square of the number from one question, any question which we are going to assign. So this is the one, and this is the second thing, auto graded test. So in auto graded test, what will happen? This will evaluate by the auto graded test cell, and we need to write unit test. So ideally, if a student's code is correct, they will get a complete whole credit, like 5 out of 5. Or if it is wrong, then they'll get a 0. So once we create an assignment, we can validate it. Whatever we have written is correct or not by clicking on validate button. So just I'm validating, and I can see success. Your notebook passes all the tests. Once it is created, need to go back to this page and click on the generate button. Once we click on generate button, we can find successfully created the student version. So this generate basically change that instructor version to a student version. And after creating a student version, we can preview it by clicking on preview. So what will be the difference? I'll show here. Like this is the instructor version we created already, and definition is square. Here we can find begin solution, and this is our main solution of the code. And in student version, directly I can find your code here, raise a not implement error. So here student can write their own code. And we can see begin hidden test and end hidden test. This is the auto graded test. This will automatically remove from this student version. We can see over here. Once this review is generated, after preview, once I click on this preview, one directory will get created in the same folder, like release. So from this release, we need to send those assignments to a student via mail or which platform we are using, whatever platform we are using. So once we send this assignments to a student, we will get a submission after they're done with their test. After submission, we need to create one folder called submitted. We need to create one directory called submitted. In this submitted directory, we'll have a student ID, we'll have this particular PS6 which I created in problem number 6, the folder. Once I create the submitted directory, I need to refresh it, and then here automatically it will pop up submission. How many submission? 1 and 1, because I just created a 2 assignment for a 2 students. So once I click on this first submission, here I can see student name, status. Before you autograde, here the status will be need to autograde, and then you need to click on autograde this. Once we click on autograde, it will take some time and successfully autograded PS5, and then we will get a score like out of 5 he or she got 0 because there was a mistake. I did some like wantedly I did some mistake to see what will be the performance. So this is a 5 out of 0, 0 out of 5. Once this is done, I'll show the other one. This is PS6. In PS6 the same thing, submission. Once we click on submission, here is a 5 out of 5. So here I written 2 test cases with different scenario. One the solution was wrong and one the solution was correct. So for the correct one, 5 out of 5. Once we're done with the auto grading, we can do manually grading as well if we want. So in manually grading, what will happen? In auto grading, there is a 5 marks. I just kept 5. And if I want to give, the code is completely correct, only there is some minute mistake. So for that, if I want to give 3 out of 5, so that changes I can make over here. Like I'll show, this is submission. So here there is a mistake. The code will give a output kind of, it's supposed to be, it will start from 0. The question is compute the square of the number from 1 to n. So output should come from 1, but it will throw an output from 0 as I did not decide what will be the I. So here we can write the comment over here, like it's supposed to be start from 1 but it is starting from 0. And we can change this code as well. Like if I don't want to give any credit, no credit. If full credit, then full. It depends how much I want to give. Next. So this is the manually grading, which is not necessary. If requires, we can. After this grading, we can generate a feedback. So once I click on generate feedback, so successfully generated feedback and successfully generated feedback for P6. Once I create on generate feedback, one directory will create it in the same folder. Users del here. This is the feedback folder. Here the feedback folder, it will render in HTML file so that the student can see their output or performance. This is for test cell 1, which is 5 out of 5, and we will see for the other student. Student number 2. So this is test cell 5, 0 out of 5. So this is the complete flow of nbgrader. I had a words with Veera Naveen, so he said we can do nbgrader in our platform as we are using Jupyter Notebook. And by tomorrow we can get a more clarity and we can get a confirmation. We'll discuss again and we'll find out like we can use this or not.